Hi guys, it's Lucy, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. I wasn't tagged to do this by anyone. I've done this tag for the past 2 years since I've been on BookTube, so I'll link the past two down below in case you're interested in what I read the past 2 years. And I will leave the original tag creators down below. And let's just get right into the questions because there are a bunch. First, we have best book you've read so far this year. This was kind of hard to choose, but I ended up choosing The Mothers by Brit Bennett. I really enjoyed this book. I was torn up like the whole time I was reading it because it's just so good. This is an Own Voices book about a black girl whose mother dies and she's going through a hard time, and we follow her from high school through adulthood as well as two other people that are involved in her life, and it is narrated by a chorus of the mothers at the church that she goes to, and it's just such a good book. Like, all the characters feel fleshed out. You love to hate them. I went through a roller coaster of emotions while reading it, and I would recommend it to anyone. Best sequel you've read so far. For this one, I've chosen Shiny Broken Pieces by Danielle Clayton. I haven't read a whole bunch of sequels, but this one was definitely the best, and I'm so glad that I read it, and I'm so glad I read the whole duology. New release you haven't read yet but want to. The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I'm sure you know about this book. Almost everyone has read it except for me. I really want to get to it. I just haven't had the time or funds to buy it yet, and I really want to buy it because I want to support books like this, and you see I'm in a cycle, but hopefully I will be getting it soon and I will be reading it soon. Most anticipated release for the rest of the year. I don't know too many new releases that are coming out in the end of the year. I am planning on doing like a anticipated rest of 2017 releases, but I haven't done too much digging. But right now, a book that I've heard of is called Dear Martin by Nick Stone. It's about a black teen who gets stopped by the cops and arrested for doing nothing, and he's having trouble reconciling this with the fact that he's basically doing everything right. He's the top of his class, he's on his way to an Ivy League school, but that still happened to him. So in order to cope with this, he starts writing letters to Martin Luther King Jr., sort of like a diary, I think. And then something happens with him and his friend and a car and an off-duty cop, and him and his friend are caught in that and in the news, and it follows that. So it's really intrigued me. It's probably going to end up like The Hate U Give with me reading it like a year after everyone else reads it, but I am looking forward to seeing it released. Biggest disappointment for this question, I have two books. Both of these books I ended up giving like good ratings, so they weren't bad books. It's just they disappointed me from what I expected. And the first one is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I loved Illuminae, so I had a lot of high hopes for this one, and it just didn't live up to them. But I did end up giving it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I just was disappointed that it just wasn't as good for me. I'm hoping the third one will be. They pushed back the release date, so it's actually coming out next year, which sucks. But yeah, it's still one of my favorite series. I do have a whole video review. The first part is spoiler free, so if you're interested to hear more of my thoughts on why I was disappointed, then be sure to watch that video if you so choose. The other one is, as I said, a book that I did like, and it wasn't a bad book, but it just wasn't as good as I wanted to be, and that book was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I was just expecting so much from it because everyone loves Toni Morrison. She's definitely a beloved writer, and she's just so popular and well loved that I expected to love this book, but I just didn't. I had a lot of issues with it. I felt like it was trying to do too much and it wasn't really succeeding. So I'm not giving up on Toni Morrison or anything. I will read her other books. This was also her first book, so maybe it wasn't the best place to start. Biggest surprise, Graceling by Kristin Cashore. I literally picked this book up on a whim because I was looking at the audiobooks my library had and this one was available, so I just decided to listen to it, and I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed listening to it. I hadn't expected to like it as much as I did, but I did, and I would recommend it. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? Brit Bennett. This is her debut novel, so obviously a new to me writer as well, and I love this so much. I am looking forward to anything else Brit Bennett writes. Newest fictional crush, Nikolai from the Grisha trilogy. I'm holding up Siege and Storm because this is the first book he shows up in. He's just a great character. I loved him. He was definitely my favorite character in the series, and yeah, he's my newest fictional crush. Newest favorite character, Natasha from The Sun Is Also a Star. I just related to her character in so many ways, and I talk about that a little bit in my review of this book, so feel free to check that out if you're so inclined. But yeah, I really liked her character. and so glad to have read this. Book that made you cry. It's very hard for me to like actually cry and shed tears, but this one, I think I did shed a couple of tears, or at least I was very close to, and that book was Shiny Broken Pieces by Sona Charapotra and Danielle Clayton. Book that made you happy. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This was just such a fun book. The romance was super cute, the main character was super cute and like adorable, and I just really enjoyed reading it, and all the things that happened just made me happy. Favorite book to film adaptation you've seen this year? I've only seen 3 movies so far this year, and I'm assuming comic book movies don't count for this. And so the only book to movie adaptation I saw was Hidden Figures, but I did love that movie, so it also would have been my favorite probably if I'd seen any others. Favorite video you've done so far this year? If we're talking booktube videos, then my authors that I'm not going to read anymore video is one of my favorites, and a lot of people seem to like that one too. And non-booktube videos, my Governor's Ball vlog is probably my favorite just because I had so much fun editing it and cutting all the clips together, because it was kind of like I was back at the festival. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year? So I haven't bought too many books. I do have a recent book haul, which is definitely a smaller book haul for the amount of time that it was, which I'm super happy with, but that means I don't have too many options. But one book would be The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This was technically a gift. I got it at the beginning of this year, and I just think it's so pretty. Like, the words look like they've been wet, and like, I don't know, it just looks so cool. And then take off the dust jacket and you can't see that at all, but it's cool. And the inside, like that, I think it's really pretty. I really like it. And the last question is, what books do you want to read by the end of the year? So all of the books that I put in my 2017 TBR, which will be linked down below in case you haven't seen it. There were 10 books in that video. So far I've only read one of them, and it was Carry On. So if you watch that video, just take out Carry On and I have to read all those books. Yeah, I'm really not doing well on that goal. Those are all the questions for the mid-year book freakout tag. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any opinions about any of the books that I talked about in this video, please be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite books you've read so far this year was. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make more videos where I talk about books. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!